Welcome to How to Learn Languages. So this is the home page, and I'll show you all the different resources that we have here for you to use on your journey learning the language you're learning. So we've got lots of free resources, some paid resources as well, so you can choose based on whatever's most convenient and relevant to you at a given time. So I'll start by showing you all the free resources we have. So obviously we've got the blog. I won't go on to the blog now, but feel free to take a look at the blog for all sorts of stuff on language learning advice in general. We've also got a great feature is Film Night, where you've got film suggestions in all the languages covered by the How to Learn Languages guides, and also a couple of languages from our Get to Know area, which I'll mention shortly, which covers indigenous languages, minority languages, endangered languages, basically any languages that aren't covered as frequently online. So we've even got a few film suggestions for those, such as Aymara and Wayuunaiki. And on the blog we've also got some articles relevant for learning each language as well, so do feel free to take a look there. And beyond that, if we scroll down here in this part, the I Want to Learn part, we have all the languages covered by the How to Learn Languages guides. So for example, Chinese, as in Mandarin Chinese, Spanish, covering both Spanish in Spain, Castilian Spanish and Latin American forms of Spanish, Italian, Vietnamese, both northern and southern forms of Vietnamese, Portuguese, again both Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese, German, French, Catalan and Russian. So you can choose between these to find free resources for learning any of these languages. So for example, if we click on Italian, you then come here and we've got a free ebook for how to start learning Italian. So this is to get you started learning the language. So you just pop your email address in here, and in the ebook I explain to you the fundamental principles for language learning, the 3 pillars of language learning, for learning any language. They're essential to any language you're learning, regardless of whether it's a tonal language, whether it's got particularly difficult grammar concepts, or whether it's got an alphabet or a different writing system. There are fundamental principles to learning any language, and we cover those there. I also tell you about the key features of the Italian language, and you also receive a general plan for learning Italian moving forward that you can apply. So basically you have everything you need to get started learning Italian, and likewise that applies to all the languages listed here. We have the same format for Vietnamese, Portuguese, Chinese, Spanish and so on, where you learn about the fundamental principles for learning languages, key information about the language you're learning, be it Vietnamese, Chinese or Portuguese, and then a general plan for learning that language specifically. So they're great free resources to get you started. And beyond that, I also have the How to Learn Languages newsletter, which is called Learning Languages. So I'd recommend signing up for the newsletter, as about once a month I share with you what languages I've been learning, how I've been learning them, what resources I've been using. So you'll get a lot of advice about language learning just straight to your inbox for free each month. And I also send you film suggestions, and you also get exclusive discounts for our paid resources. And of course, if you have any questions, do feel free to let me know here. And for more free resources, if we go here to languages, now How to Learn Languages, those are the guides and courses, our paid resources, but also here you see the Get to Know Languages area. And as I've said, this is about languages that aren't as frequently covered online, including indigenous, minority and endangered languages. So I'll just quickly show you that. So you can see here, you can find many different languages from around the world, and when you click on it, you'll be able to find resources for learning that language, or at least learning more about that language. So it's a video for each one, general information about the language, And then you can download all of this for that language as a PDF as well, so you can view it on the go. And here, and again, this is included in the PDF, resources for learning that language, in this case for learning Lao. Websites and courses, YouTube channels, videos, podcasts and radio, books, films, articles, language exchange apps, for practicing speaking the language, communicating in the language, like Tandem and HelloTalk, and you can find tutors on italki. So you get everything you need there to get started learning that language. So I hope that's useful for you. Now, in terms of our paid resources, I guess there's sort of 3 levels to it in a way, although it's more a case of depending on what you're looking for rather than it being tiered as such. So if, for example, you're feeling very comfortable with the methodology for learning a language and for learning the specific language you're wanting to learn, but you want to save yourself a lot of time, don't want to have to look for loads of resources, then we have here resources for learning languages. These cover all the languages in the How to Learn Languages guides, that you saw along the bottom of the home screen, for the free ebooks. These resources for learning parts are paid ebooks where I provide you with more than 100 free online resources and tools for learning each of these languages. So for example, again, resources for learning Italian. In this ebook, you get, again, links to more than 100 free online resources and tools, and I also categorize and explain them for your convenience so that you can apply them to the process of learning Italian as seamlessly as possible. And just another nice feature worth mentioning, any product you buy from the website, it goes towards, it will plant a tree for each item you purchase, and that's at the moment that contributes to mangrove reforestation in Madagascar, and you can read more about that by clicking on that. Now, so as you can see here, we cover introduction to Italian, key features of Italian, resources for learning grammar should you wish to learn grammar in isolation, useful tools, resources for immersion like YouTube, podcasts, radio, series, films, audio books, news and articles, all sorts, resources for sentence collecting, for your active learning, resources for active listening and reading, spaced repetition systems if you do like flashcard software, resources for practice, and even information and links for getting your Italian level certified. Now, this applies to each of these languages here. In each ebook, you get all of that information, links and resources for that language. So, same for resources for learning Chinese, resources for learning Spanish, and so on. And as mentioned, for Spanish, it's both Castilian Spanish and Latin American forms of Spanish. Portuguese, it's both Brazilian and European Portuguese. Vietnamese, it's northern and southern forms of Vietnamese. And with German, the standard forms of German in Germany, Austria and Switzerland aren't hugely different, I guess, on the standard level, but even so, we mention resources for resources based in Germany, based in Austria, based in Switzerland, just in case you're wanting to focus on resources from a particular country. Now, these are fantastic ebooks if you're just looking for resources for learning a language and want to save a lot of time. If, however, you are also wanting to become more at ease with the process of learning the language, you're feeling a bit lost about how to go about it, then I'd recommend our guides. So as you see here, these are in-depth guides to help you learn the language you're learning. So each one is an ebook, and a very detailed ebook at that, hundreds of pages, but organised very succinctly and easy for you to use as either a reference tool or to read from cover to cover, depending on your preference. When you buy the guide, it comes with a welcome video about 30 minutes long to show you how to get the most out of that guide, and that's for each specific guide. You get your own tailored welcome video to that language and that guide, and each one has its own checklist PDF, 6 pages long, so that as you're learning that language you can tick off your progress as you go and keep track. So again, for example, looking at how to learn Italian from beginner to fluency. As I say here, so much more than an ebook. You get the welcome video, tailored to the How to Learn Italian ebook specifically, the checklist PDF, again tailored to How to Learn Italian, step-by-step plan you can use as a follow-along or as a reference tool. And again, you get everything that's included in the resources ebook, but with all the methodology, with the step-by-step plan, the welcome video, the checklist PDF, links to more than 100 online resources and tools as mentioned, but also you get a short history of Italian where I teach you the history of the Italian language as well. So you get an awful lot just in one ebook and with the welcome video and checklist PDF. So I'd recommend that if you're wanting a complete guide to the process of learning the language you're wanting to learn. And as you can see here, loads covered in the ebook. And each guide, at the back of each guide I mention who took these images from Unsplash, and crucially where they are. So if you see a picture and you think, oh, I'd love to visit there in Italy if I get the chance, you can see where the picture is in Italy. Now, and as you see here, you get the welcome video, 30 minutes, and the checklist PDF along with the ebook. Now, we do also have courses if you're wanting lots of video tutorials to help you, but that basically is the same as the guide in terms of content. The only difference is you'll also be getting video lessons as opposed to just reading. So with the guide you get the reading from the ebook plus the welcome video and the checklist PDF, whereas with courses you also get lots of videos if that's for people who enjoy the video format. But don't worry if depending on budget or situation, everything you need is in the How to Learn Languages guides. So don't feel you have to get the course like you're missing out. The courses are just if you really enjoy the video lesson format. And just as a final thing, we do also have in the courses section video lessons on the history of certain languages, and I'll add more to those in future. At the moment I've got a short history of Spanish, a short history of Italian courses available, and I'll be sure to add more in the future, so do keep an eye out for that. So that just about covers everything. So as I said, you've got a wide range of resources and materials, free resources and paid resources at different price points according to what you're after and your learning preferences in terms of video content or reading and so forth. So if you have any questions, do feel free to let me know. Email me at contact@howtolearnlanguages.info and I'll get back to you promptly. I'd be more than happy to help. And I hope you enjoy learning languages.